Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Coach Red, where we bring you all the news, stories, takes, and opinions about your favorite teams from the Pacific Northwest, from the good to the bad to the Mariners.
The Mariners, baby.
They're playing a
Yeah,
little bit better
a little better.
since the last time we spoke. Um, Couple of big series against teams in playoff positions with the Blue Jays and the Twins series just wrapping up earlier today. But before we dive in to the sweet, sweet Mariners, why don't I tell you a little bit about us? If you're looking for a guy who has a little flair for the dramatic, maybe like a Mariner named Dylan Moore, aka my favorite Mariner. Maybe you're looking for a guy like me, your boy, Coach Red. You can find me on Twitter at the real Coach Red, on Instagram at the real _ Coach Red, and hop on over to YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, leave a comment or two. If you're looking for a guy that's a little rocky at the beginning of his tenure in the podcast, but is coming up with clutch base hits and even pinch hit late home runs for a second one of the year, which is outpacing Jesse Winker by one. Maybe you're looking for a guy like Cain.
I'm Kane. You can find me on Twitter at Kane2406, on YouTube at Kane06, TikTok and Kick Kane0624.
And if you're looking for a guy where you don't always know where he's at, maybe he's a Rule 5 draft pick, maybe he goes back to the Yankees, maybe he's here, maybe he's not, I don't know, but he will come through in the clutch with a bunch of dingers, like your boy Mike Ford. It's your boy Lefty France.
What up, peeps? Follow me on Twitter at Lefty France, on Instagram at DFrance13. Go over and follow the pod on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Follows. Do it, freaking do it.
Let's jump right into the Blue Jays series. First game, Friday night, Rockin' the City connects, and Mariners are down late by a run, claw back, and then Teoscar Hernandez revenge game. That ball was smoked off the wall. Off Romano, who is a solid closer.
Yes. That ball was roped. Springer gave up, and it was
Springer couldn't do anything. It was hit too hard.
I know.
Because he had to play somewhat in, because you got to make a play at the plate if the ball goes in front of you.
One of the things I love to see out of this start is that they had 10 hits on the night. That you
10
love.
Hits, 3 runs.
Yeah, but it shows that they're swinging the stick and actually getting on base. And it was great that they, decided to put runs on the board late.
I mean, it usually helps.
Yeah.
Usually to win. The goal is to score more runs than the opponent.
No shit, Sherlock.
Game 2.
Game 2 was
Game 2.
Oh baby. Cal Raleigh strikes again.
Scoring.
Yeah, Canada's most wanted, Cal Raleigh.
I saw a stat on that day where it was like the 5 out of the last 6 times they've played the Mariners, including last postseason, Cal Raleigh's homered in every single game.
Well, that he's played in.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play Friday night. But the other thing that was crazy is Blue Jays Twitter, because a lot of Blue Jays fans coming to T-Mobile Park down from Canada, and you look at the droves of fans that come in. It was not a 50-50 split, definitely more Mariners fans than Blue Jays fans, which is a turn from a couple of years ago. But they were saying home away from home, and they had lost, like, I think if you include the game we haven't talked about yet, they're like 2-7 in their last 9 at T-Mobile.
Oh my gosh.
God, that sounds like a broken home. I don't want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, I got a pool. Yeah, it's a kiddie pool out on the front lawn. It's not even in the backyard.
Homeless, not their home.
Hey, have you seen this large box that I acquired?
Exactly.
And to cap off game 2, Teo also hit the go-ahead double, drove in 2 runs. So back-to-back nights with the game-winning
RBI.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to
Gritty.
see.
We need some help on the Sunday game because when I left my house to, go advance in softball playoffs, it was tied at 2-2. So I saw that there were runners on second and third. I believe Gino was up and they couldn't get a run in, but in another opportunity to win a game late.
Yeah, Brandon Belt gave him the lead in the 6th. Dylan Moore tied it in the 6th, and then Espinal singled, and they scored 1, and that's where nothing else happened. So it wasn't too crazy. I do like to see the Mariners kind of in it, not losing by a bunch of runs. At least like 1-run games, it's like, all right, you know what? They did their job. They kind of held them. Sucks that they didn't win, but hey, they got the series win, so there's nothing really too bad about it.
Well, and you're seeing the clutch kind of come back a little bit. It's like the roller coaster, like it's like ticking up really slowly for that big drop. It's like, it's climbing that hill. But like sometimes like it misses one of the notches, you like slide back a little bit. You're like, oh, okay, it's not here yet. But the wins on Friday and Saturday were clutch performances later in games that we have not been accustomed to seeing for a large chunk of this season.
And one thing you can still take away is that Teo is still on a tear, man.
Yeah, he's roping the ball right now.
Oh, it's insane.
Well, and then we go to Monday versus the Twins in the Twin Cities, and you have a pinch hit go ahead 2-run dinger with 2 strikes by Colton Wong.
Yeah.
And then you proceed to give up the lead and can't score and lose an extra inning game. So remember how we were ticking up that roller coaster? This is a slide back.
Yeah.
But game number 2 was a lot better.
Well, game number 2 was really bad because I was out and about and I just kind of watching this game a little bit later. And when you look at this team, I thought they were cooked late in this game.
Well, it started off a little rocky, but then
Very rocky. George Kirby got his tits lit, if you will.
Yeah, he did.
Well, but then J-Rod kind of got it back, got one on the board, and then your boy Cade Marlowe hit one.
Yeah,
my boy. Yeah, I've been championing for Cade Marlowe for years now.
You were talking about him to be up at the start of the year.
Yeah.
So,
well, he was on the taxi squad to be a guy in the playoffs if needed. If there was an injury, he was traveling with the team during the playoffs.
Right. But, just going off of what you said at the beginning of the year, I'm just calling him your boy. So deal with it.
I got a lot of boys then. I've talked about a lot of Mariners.
But Cade Marlowe, ever since, he got the call, he seems to be performing pretty decently at the major league level. So I'm liking that a lot. Not to mention didn't he steal 2 bags?
Probably. He's a speed demon.
Yeah. J-Rod had a 2 home run performance. That was great to see.
Like this ends drought. Like I think the Mariners had a 591 game streak that dated back to 1991, where if they were trailing by 4 or more runs in the 8th inning or later, love baseball stats, on the road, they hadn't won a game since 91 at the Chi Sox, and that streak was broken yesterday.
Wow, you'll love to see it. Who got the Sewald came in, shut it down. Love to see that. Paul Sewald.
Where's the mute button on this podcast?
But he's got 20 saves on the year, so you like to see that.
Sewald.
Yeah. Let's go to today's game.
Today's game, let's call it the Dylan Moore game.
Yeah, the demo show.
Rocking a couple of dingers today. Mariners you build a lead early and hang on late.
I know, dude.
Bryce Miller hits a little bit of rough patch in the middle innings, and the bullpen does just enough to hang on.
Hey, that's enough to win.
Yeah.
First, the division leading Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, not often your starting pitcher's getting a win with 6 earned runs.
Not super often.
Not often.
No, but I did see this oddball stat. It was talking about comparing Luis Castillo over his last 10 starts. Like he had like right around a 3 ERA, bunch of innings pitched, and the Mariners were 3-7 in those games. And then they talked about, I think it was Luke Weaver from the Reds, who had a third less innings pitched, an ERA at 7, and the Reds were 7-3 in those games.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where it's tough, but when the good things happen, you take them, and when the bad things happen, you get really pissed and think about not watching the Mariners for a couple of days.
That's true.
Because for most of the season, I think that the Mariners have been at 500 22 times this year in 102 games, where they've had a 500 record on the nose. That's a lot.
They just need to go on one little streak here, like a little 8-9 game winner.
It's just tough.
If they can pull out a 5, lose 2, win 5, and go like 10 and 2 in a 12 game stretch, they're going to be right in the thick of this thing.
Yeah.
And your pitching staff and bullpen is what you thrive on. And you're starting to get Mike Ford's coming up clutch a lot more recently. Teo's hitting the hell out of the ball. Ty France come back a little bit. Gino still can put the ball, kind of cooled off after his little mini hot streak. But Cal Raleigh's getting hot. You've got good play out of Tom Murphy. JP's been moving the lineup all year. And then you're starting to see these things. Cabby's kind of cooled off, but insert Dylan Moore getting regular playing time, seeing that batting average tick up and the power come back. You're seeing Colton Wong get more meaningful at bats, and he's not pissing down his leg at the opportunity. Things are happening where things are piecing together, and it's not, especially over the course of the last week, it hasn't been what we've seen like on Friday where 10 hits spread out enough where you're only scoring 3 runs. You're seeing these little pockets of run scoring opportunities, and it's not just limited to big gaps in runs, because that's what we saw, in last week's Twin series. Twins come out and score 2, Mariners score 3, offense is humming, and it goes absolutely silent for the remaining 8 innings. I think I was at that game, and I texted you guys. The Mariners, after 1, are on pace for 48 hits. They finished with 8, and they had 6 in the first.
Not your brightest moment, but
No.
Hey, a man can dream.
We've got the Diamondbacks next series too.
That's they're like the second best team in the NL, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty good. Diamondbacks, Red Sox are our next 2 series.
Hold on, let me do some fact checking real quick, please.
They're not the second best team.
They were leading the division at one point.
Yeah.
Well,
and,
all right.
And at one point, I wore a medium-sized shirt. That's in the past.
The AL East is kind of bonkers.
Bonkers good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, yeah. Every team has more wins than the Mariners do. That's why they're all in wild card eligibility. Basically, they just have to get past the Astros.
Yeah.
Orioles
are going off.
So Mariners, we kind of talked about the mediocrity, hitting 500, going a game above, then get back to 500, then going a game below, then getting back to 500. It's been a wild ride. So I figured we do a little flip a coin, and I'm going to give both you guys some scenarios, and you have to tell me which scenario you would pick and why. Are you guys prepared?
No,
As as prepared as I'll ever be.
Okay,
I'm not prepared.
perfect. We're playing with fire now. Here we go. Speaking
Let's
of
get
fire, would you rather get hit in the ass cheek by an Andres Munoz fastball or get sacked by Bobby Wagner?
Like blindside sacked or
Yeah.
just like, oof,
Oh.
okay.
Oh, no, it doesn't have to be blindside. You can see it coming. I don't know if that's much better.
No, I don't know if it is, but
You know what, Lefty? You go first.
okay.
Neither option.
I'm probably gonna go with Bobby Wagner sack. Because at least you can like brace yourself for it.
Yeah, but I
instead
don't
of
think it's gonna help though.
more than an Andre Munoz.
But like, are
fastball where you're like,
you taking the fastball directly? Like, you're taking it in the ass, or are you
yeah.
taking it like on the side, or where you have to sit? Like, if you turn back, does it hit you like?
It's not going to hit you in the hole.
No shit. But you know how you have your cheeks sit on the fucking.
No, it's going to be like you're going to be hit like Sean Murphy was hit.
Yeah,
When he stuck
okay.
it out. So it's
All
going
right.
to hit it's going to hit side cheek.
Okay.
So there's a little bone
So you're
there,
worried
too.
about
There's a little
having to sit down for a couple of days versus your whole body probably hurting. I'm just clarifying. Your main concern is ability to sit.
Oh, now I'm thinking about switching. I might.
Nope, you're getting sacked, Lefty. Sorry.
All right, Bobby, sack me.
I'm taking him fastball off the ass.
At a hundo.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause like I feel like it's gonna hurt,
Well, both are.
but it's not gonna hurt as bad as getting rocked by Bobby.
It's true. I mean,
But at least you can just kind of like fall down, like as he's coming. It's just kind of like
No, like you're getting
sacked.
you're getting hit stick.
you said you can
if
see
you guys
it
have
coming.
seen the episode,
Tell me what quarterback's not just like already kind of going.
But that's not the name of the game. We got to stand there like guinea pigs.
No, watch. I'm sure you guys have seen.
I'm not just gonna face him and be like
special quarterback, right? Like watching Kirk Cousins, like he's prepared for him. He's still getting rocked.
Yeah, I agree.
Nah, I'm good.
But
I'm taking a fastball. Because
you're padded up. You got pads.
Oh, not enough. I mean, you're also like
you got
rib
protector. You got the rib protectors.
But
you got
you're
it
also
all.
like a little bit more built than I am, so nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Man, you guys need to fill because I wanna check something right now. Keep talking about getting hit by your Seattle friends.
Who else would be shitty to get hit by?
I'll tell you who.
Anyone?
Jamal Adams.
Anyone?
No,
in the NFL?
Let's throw it back. Cam Chancellor.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that I'd be paralyzed.
Just think of Vernon Davis. That's all you really got to think about. Is he made that man so scared to go over the middle.
Guy still has nightmares about fucking Cam Chancellor.
Well, here's the other thing that I was looking at. Bobby Wagner is 242 pounds of straight man barreling in on you.
Yeah.
42.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so Cain's getting plunked and Lefty's getting sacked. Got it.
I'll take one.
Which one would you take, Coach?
I'm not participating.
We already know which one.
I'm not participating.
Munoz.
This is your guys' time to shine.
Munoz.
All right. The next question I have is: would you rather both these first two are a lot of wear and tear type things.
Oh God.
Would you rather play every game in a 162 game season for baseball or the 17 game season for football?
Am I in shape?
Yeah, are we like in?
Are we in MLB or NFL shape, or are we as we are now?
The great question there.
Well, obviously, if you guys are, if we all were as we are now, we're not making the team, and you're not going to be trotted out there every week or every game.
Well,
So,
this is the shit you got to clarify.
You're not you're not
we
like
got
a
no
top-fledged athlete. You're more like, hey, I'm for the Mariners. You're like, hey, I'm the starting second baseman. I'm playing every single game, or I'm a linebacker, safety, tight end. So not necessarily like the most prized person where you're like, okay, I'm going to be slinging the ball around the park as the quarterback and constantly being targeted, but you're going to feel it week in, week out.
I'd rather do 162 games of baseball.
Yeah. Because if Cal Ripken can do it, I think we could do it. He wasn't in
this is what Cain does.
Fielder can play baseball.
Let me take one of the most elite players that ever played the game and compare my journey to his.
I mean, when you look at Cal Ripken, he just kind of slinky.
This is Cain. This is a lot like when I was hanging out with you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, Patrick Mahomes' wife is just like the craziest quarterback wife I've ever met." Like, you haven't met her. You don't know her.
It's like the same thing. Like, whatever. You know what I meant.
I'm sitting here and saying, "Oh, well, if Cal Ripken can do it, I can't." Well, no one else has come anywhere close.
I mean, they're both hard, but with 17 games in the NFL, dude, you're getting rocked one way or
it's
another.
So hard on your body. That's why like MLB players can play for way longer than a lot of other sports. It's just
shit.
Not that it's not hard on people's like MLB players' bodies. It's just there's a reason you play 162 games and not 17.
Let's be real. Danny Vogelbach was like almost everyday player at one point in his career.
You actually have to play the field.
No, he played first.
Yeah, okay.
Now 162 I just feel like that not as tough on you as 17 games in the NFL.
I would say that it's almost more mentally exhausting too.
For sure.
It's a grind. Travel
it is a grind.
In and out of cities. You're basically playing 6 days a week. You're grinding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's gonna suck, but
at least with the NFL, you get like the week where, hey, I get to go see the trainer. I get to go see non-Deshaun Watson masseuses. I get to go see a chiropractor.
But you're also getting lit up on the field every single week. I'm good.
You're also getting sometimes in Major League Baseball, you're going to get plunked by 102 mile an hour fastball in the keister.
You know what? I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So the next one is, if you could pick one nickname between these two, which would you prefer? The J-Rod J Show, as he was called during his first home run derby, or Uncle Will for Uncle Will Disley. Shout out to Cain's hat.
Like someone calling us that. Like,
which one do you prefer?
Walking. Oh, okay.
Like, which one do I like?
Uncle Will.
Yeah.
You don't like the J-Rod J Show?
No.
Just too much. A little excessive.
It's just the J. It's just the J that makes it
J-Rod. Yeah, it's just like J-Rod or J Show.
Or
it's
J-Rod Show. There's the J-Rod Show. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I like you must have been one of the announcers during the home
J-Rod J Show.
Hey,
oh god.
He kind of, that's a me moment right there.
Yeah. Well, here's another one because it was tough because I couldn't think of a lot of good nicknames for like people on the Seahawks. It seems like nicknames are typically thrown around in both, but I feel like you get more nicknames in baseball than you do in football. My other one was Prez or Big Dumper.
Oh, big number. All
Big
Yeah,
day.
I knew the
Dumper.
answer to that one. That's why I tried to go with one that wasn't as obvious. Prez was the
Apparently,
best one that I could come up with for the Seahawks.
apparently, Colton Long's nickname is the Pebble.
You have Luis Castillo, who's the Rock, and then he's got his little guy, the Pebble, sitting there right behind him in the distance.
It's mini me.
Dude, Colton Long looks small playing the game.
He is
I know that
small.
you can. He just looks different.
The Rock and the Pebble. Oh my
Rock
god,
and the
that's
Pebble.
too good.
God, that sounds like a native story that was told for generations. The Rock and the Pebble. All right. Okay, next question I have. Would you rather win, not for our teams to win it, but if you were on the team, would you rather win a World Series or win a Lombardi trophy?
This one's a little tougher.
World
to
Series
choose from.
trophy for me.
Yeah, I'm also with that because
Looks cooler, I think, than
We're going off the looks of the
And-
trophy.
Yeah, we are.
and
Lefty's
It's-
like great photo
it's
ops.
you can
Grant's
lose
gonna be popping.
you can
It'd be
lose
great.
one game or two games in the World Series and still win. With the Super Bowl, it's win or go home, and if you lose, you're just devastated. I get you lose in baseball too, you're devastated, but I feel like hoisting the World Series trophy would just be a better feeling than the Lombardi trophy.
I think that it's
7 games too. That's a
Means a lot.
the lot.
war.
It's a
Yeah, it is a
lot.
war.
No,
And-
what I kind of see between the two is I feel like the World Series, you do have a team that you're built around and everyone had a piece in that, but baseball is definitely more of an individual accomplishment thing. So I feel like personally, I would feel more individually accomplished winning the World Series, but within, winning a Super Bowl, the team mentality, 52 guys on the field week in, week out, plus like 20 more guys that you've got practice squad and doing that. I think the sense of team would be the driving factor for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. But it also in baseball, with the individuality that they have, they're also like, you have bases loaded, you hit a grand slam. Like, yeah, that's for the individual, but it's also for the team and the atmosphere around everybody when that stuff happens.
Yeah.
The World Series is good because you actually have home opportunities and you're playing in front of your fans. Not saying you aren't doing that at the Super Bowl, but it's
more diverse.
It's different for sure.
Yeah, I would take the World Series trophy any day of the week.
All right, last one I've got. Would you prefer listeners to like or subscribe to our podcast?
How about both?
Subscribe.
No, you have to pick one.
Subscribe.
Likes also go for the algorithm, but we also need subscribers. Subscribe.
The correct answer was both, but you can pick it.
Like
answer
and
was reserved
subscribe.
for me. So, hey, before you log off, go do that. Like, subscribe the podcast wherever you're watching or listening. Also, give us a follow over on social media. You can find me, your boy Coach Red, on Twitter at @TheRealCoachRed, on Instagram at @TheReal_CoachRed. Hop on over to YouTube, search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe. There's the 2. Hit the bell notifications. Leave a comment or 2. Cain, where you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Cain2406, on YouTube at Cain06, TikTok and Kick Cain0624.
Lefty, take us home.
You can find me on Twitter at Lefty France, on Instagram at DFrance13. Go over and follow the pod on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Hey, follow us. Do it, frickin' do it.
And as always, stay fresh.
Stay fresh, peeps.
Peace.